Morning, a Pennsylvania lawmaker is facing criticism for attending his gay son's wedding last week.
3 days after opposing a bill in the U.S. House that would enshrine protections for same-sex marriage into federal law. Representative Glenn Thompson's office said in a statement that he and his wife were thrilled to attend the nuptials and are very happy to welcome a new son-in-law into the family. Thompson was one of 157 House Republicans to oppose the legislation, which would protect the right to same-sex and interracial marriages nationwide. His office did not respond to a follow-up question about why he decided to vote against the measure.
RNT General Secretary Mick Lynch.
I'm sorry, but that story is so insane. Like, homie literally was like, we got ours out of the way. Everyone else, fuck you. It's such a fucking funny story. It's so dark. But in a way, it is so fucking hilarious, dude. Just straight up, like openly just being hypocritical in the most ridiculous way, dude. There is nothing, just point to that story. That's it. There's nothing else that shows conservatism than that exact same thing. Actually, there is one other story that I do want to show you before we move on to the GOAT, Mick Lynch. Okay? Because there's one additional element in the conservative gay conservative discourse that, of course, we have to mention. And that is Dave motherfucking Rubin. A lot of you already know this man. Okay? But watch Dave Rubin talk to yet another homophobic person as he tries to, explain his worldview while being gay. At a time when conservatives are basically using homophobia as a talking point, as a way to galvanize the base.
Family generally is a father and a mother and then children. Are there ways, that is the norm. That is the norm, and I would say in some ways this is going to sound a little bit weird for a certain amount of people, but that is sort of the ideal. But in the world, not everything is always the ideal. So in the family that we are going to raise, we're obviously going to have two fathers. However, that is not me saying, oh, women are not important, or that there is no difference between men and women or anything like that. And will it look different than the traditional family? Yes. But how many people do the...
He said, I'm about to raise a child, and it's not ideal. And it is. It isn't ideal. But not because the kid is going to have two fucking dads. It's not ideal because the kid's going to have one dad that's Dave Rubin. Okay? That's it. That's the main problem here. Like, dude, how awesome is that? Like, a gay man who just adopted a child with his husband, unironically cutting propaganda against himself. That's so cool.
Traditional family truly right, with the best of the mother and the father, and don't do anything to screw up their kids psychologically or physically or anything else. So I think you can say that, oh, there is the norm and the ideal, and then there are things around that and approximate to it that are pretty good too. And the best that I can do is do the best that I can to make something good happen.
What I hear from your things right now,
he's like, bro, he's like, I'm going to overcome my gayness. He's like, I know. Listen, I'm gay. I like dick. But I'm going to overcome it when I'm educating my child. Don't worry. Not ideal. Not ideal. That's awesome.
is that on the ideal, you would prefer that your children will be heterosexual, and to live in the classic ideal family, men and women.
Well, I wouldn't prefer, well, that's not exactly what I'm saying. I don't know that I would.
He's just saying, like, would you want your, for those of you who didn't understand the very easy question here that is presented, Would you prefer your child to be ideal, i.e. heterosexual then?
Prefer that they would be. I would prefer that I am able to raise two children who are functional adults who have an understanding of the way the world works and can find some meaning in their lives and live a life that's important to them. If ultimately they both turn out to be straight, that's fantastic. If one of them turns out to be gay, that's fine too. Like,
no, but I mean on the ideal.
That's fine. If they're both straight, that's fantastic. If one of them's fucking gay, that's all right, I guess. Homie, you're gay. You're gay. Look at his face. Look at his fucking face. Look at his face after he said that. You know, there's still, inside of his brain, there is still like at least some fucking neurons firing, right? So he's recognizing like he doesn't care about like the immoral nature of what he's doing, obviously. But you know, at a certain point, he's recognizing that like, oh, fuck. I look like such an idiot right now.
Out to be gay, that's fine too.
Like, no, I mean on the ideal. Not if it would happen, you would, of course, you would embrace them if they were gay, like, of course. But this is not the question.
Yeah.
The question is, what do you think the ideal that you would teach not teach, but want your children to be?
Yeah. I guess we're getting hung up maybe a little bit on the word want. I would understand in the reality of reality is that life would be sort of the easiest, supposedly, although I don't think life is necessarily supposed to be easy.
I need to watch the longer version of this. I need to see him flounder harder. There's got to be more, right? Does anyone have the fucking sauce? I need the sauce. I need this more than anything else, dude. Natalie said, lol. Bro, this is what happens when... What is this? Sex and Sensibility? What the fuck? Why did you just link this? This used to be my coworker, yes. It's so funny because, like, Dave Rubin is from an era where he thought, like, he could get away with being, like, the gay defender of Trump. You know what I mean? He thought that he could do, like, I'm the gay defender of Trump, right? He thought he could do that. And then the Republican Party was like, oh, we're actually straight up gonna do like homophobia as a platform, right? So now all of his fucking fan base is calling him a groomer. Uncle Tom of Finland? That's a good one. Oh, Jesus Christ, that's fucked up. So now his entire fan base is like, I don't think he thought that they were gonna turn on him. I think he personally thought that they were not going to fucking turn on him like this. But now the conservative movement is looking for new victims because they move beyond transphobia. It's not enough to sate their anger and resentment. It doesn't satisfy them any longer. They need to also expand the base of hatred to gay people again, which they were doing. That was the main reason why this fucking idiot was a liberal, because he's gay.
That I am able to raise two children who are functional adults who have an understanding of the way the world works and can find some meaning in their lives and live a life that's important to them. If ultimately They both turn out to be straight. That's fantastic. If one of them turns out to be gay, that's fine too. Like,
but I mean on the
sort of-
ideal, not if it would happen. You would, of course, you would embrace them if they were gay, like of course. But this is not the question.
Yeah.
The question is, what do you think the ideal that you would teach your, not teach, but want your children to be?
Yeah. I guess we're getting hung up maybe a little bit on the word want. I would understand in the reality of reality is that life would be sort of the easiest, supposedly, although I don't think life is necessarily supposed to be easy, if they happen to be heterosexual and then they just sort of fit into the mold that has been the mold for so long.
Bro, that's just old school homophobia. That's awesome. You know he thinks that's messed up. That's heteronormativity. That literally stops people like him and other gay people from coming out. That's literally the liberal face of, that is literally the liberal face of homophobia. To say, oh, well, I don't care if you're gay, but like, it's probably better if you're straight. You know, you'll get fucking shit on, Les, if you're straight. No, the answer is, it doesn't matter if they're gay or straight. What the fuck is wrong with you? Oh God, this is so good. You're dragging it, bro. You're dragging it, bro. You're dragging it. The only thing I'm doing is dragging my dick across your fucking mom's face, okay? And she's loving every moment of it. Suck my cock.
That would probably be easier, but to fully say that that would be something that I would prefer would be a dismissal of my own life in a way, right? Because I've built a life that is meaningful. I've built a life that I think is pretty decent and pretty good and everything else. So I will be no happier. Let's put it this way: if my child came to me and said they were gay, I wouldn't be happier than if they told me they were straight. You know what I mean? Like it would just be: did I raise a child that I think I gave the?
Okay. It took him this long to arrive at, oh, there's no difference between gay or straight. Now, the reason why he has to do that, though, the reason why he had to, like, fucking build a spine in that 2 to 3 minute video, the reason why he had to build that is because his own personal life and his own personal experiences as a gay man growing up in, like, a pretty homophobic era literally do not match with his current propaganda. The cognitive dissonance was so fucking powerful in that circumstance that he was just like, oh, I don't know.
The right tools, hopefully, to go out into the world and figure out what they want to be and how they want to interact with the world.
Okay, let's talk a bit about the Jewish perspective. What is Judaism for you? Like, I was in America, in Los Angeles last summer, and, you know, the assimilation rate is like to the extreme of the extreme of the extreme. Like, I think in 100 years, we won't have any Reform Jews or almost any conservative Jews. There will be, I think, only Orthodox, and like we're in a really big assimilation problem that has never been in the Jewish history, and it's really something that happens in the United States in a more radical way.
Yeah. Well, you know, the story of America.
Oh my God, bro. Dude, no Muslim talks like this. Like, or when a Muslim person talks like this, they are literally, Muslim people talk like this too, don't get me wrong. But when a Muslim fundamentalist talks like this, it's on literally CNN, Fox News. Every outlet's like, look, they're doing fifth column style infiltration of America. They're trying to bring about Sharia law. That's crazy. Homie Shred Up said, oh, there's not going to be enough like moderate Jews that don't care about or just say that they're Jewish. It's just going to be like either people who don't give a shit about religion or Orthodox Jews.
Is about assimilation, right? It's
As a Jewish person, I think that says more about the Orthodox than the Reformists. Yeah, no, it does. But the thing is, I think he's saying that it's a good thing. Like, he's saying the Orthodox Jews maintaining their rigid religious beliefs, fundamentalist religious beliefs, is a good thing.
Story of people coming from every corner of the earth, bringing their traditions, their religions, their foods, their senses of humor, their music, all of those things, and then assimilating into the fabric of America, becoming part of the melting pot that is America.
He's just saying that his life tends to be easier for heteros because people are just assholes. He wants his kids to have a life filled with the least amount of hate. Therefore, it might be preferred if they're straight. Do you seriously disagree? Yes. Yes, I do. 1, because he lives in Los Angeles. 2, because he himself is making life harder for gay people. Like, he is literally, unironically, in that own conversation, by maintaining the heteronormative standard of like what an ideal family is literally reinforcing the homophobia personally, while simultaneously being a gay man. Okay, he lives in Florida. It doesn't matter. Florida's gay as fuck too. Shut the fuck up. That's not the point. The point is, Dave Rubin himself is promoting homophobia while trying to make the argument that, like, oh, well, it might be a little bit harder to be gay than be straight. He also personally said it's not ideal for the parental units to both be fathers, which is bullshit. Oh, he personally called his own family not ideal, and motherfuckers in here are still looking for a reason to try to defend him over this. Matt Walsh said, I'd rather be dead than live something like this. I personally haven't watched this video on purpose yet, but I have seen so much propaganda on TikTok about it. We're not going to get to the line yet because I'm waiting for Felix to come over to talk about it. But we are going to talk about it today. Do not worry. Fear not. We will talk about Saudi Arabia and their scam that people are promoting for no fucking reason. But more importantly than that, no, not Felix Lengyel, the Lion of Level, but Felix B. Felix Biederman, friend of the show, Chapo Trap House, Grey Wolf himself. We haven't talked about Grand Theft Auto 6 yet either. I will talk about it in a little bit.